Hey, I wanted to talk quickly about the main subject of my project. This is a little board I've entitled Youthful Elderly, and I've basically gone through, I mentioned like all the stereotypes people have of old people, and like beating them. First off, this centre image, I've got a larger image here. This is a print by Banksy called Grannies, and this is sort of like encompasses all what I'm about to talk about. Obviously, it's just showing these two grannies. At first glance, you think they're just knitting, and then when you look a bit closer, you can see the slogans that they're knitting into the drums: "Punk's Not Dead" and "Thug for Life." Two like the most famous like subculture slogans of like ever, basically. The "Thug for Life" being the largest rap slogan, and "Punk's Dead" obviously for punk. And so let me just go on. I'll talk about the different areas that I think there are large stereotypes. I've written down all the stereotypes, and then I've added pictures to combat them, and that's kind of what I'm going to do in my project. And I'm just going to zip through them, and I'm going to talk about one of them more specifically. Unadventurous and unaccepting of like the age gap, and like there seems to be also hostility from old people towards like the youths, whatever. Unsporting, bitter, and like not up for a party. And this is the one that I'm probably most interested in, and it's behaved. I quite like the idea of them like going for this like sex, drugs, rock and roll lifestyle, and seeing it being like taken on by old people. I think it's quite funny, and I think it is something that I'm going to encompass in my project, definitely. Like I've said before, I'm not looking for like that perfect person. I'm like looking for someone with mistakes and someone with a bit to them, a lot of character, and that is quite often seen in a lot of people that have that like toe the line. But I think people learn more by doing bad things, so often you find a lot more character in people that have had more adventurous stories and gone a little way further from the norm. Okay, the next board I've done is on like a small section of my project, tattoos in modern society, and I'm just gonna have a quick look around all the stigmas attached to tattoos, and then relate them back to elderly people. First off, you've got like status tattoos, things like the well-known tramp stamp and like tribal designs that mean nothing to the person or little to the person, and are just on a sort of a status symbol to give your like to put the tattoo in to be like, I'm one of those tattooed people, and to give them that status and particular place in the body obviously have particular meanings. Next, tattoos are related to a lot of subcultures. A lot of them are seen as negative subcultures, so that's another reason why tattoos have a negative stigma. Religious or political extremists, rappers, obviously there's a huge connotation there. Pretty much every rapper has at least a couple tattoos. Gang/prison. Motorbikes, one of the original subcultures of tattoos. The accused is just a more specific example of the gang tattoo. And then I look at women. Women still have like, I think, quite a different role from men in the tattoo society in a way. Like, there is still a lot more less acceptance with women getting tattoos than there is with men. And religious, it's like kind of a pro-con, because a lot of religions are against and a lot aren't against, but I don't think any promote it. Well, I guess a few promote it. Now the pros. Celebrity, obviously there's a huge boost in celebrity tattoos, and that's helping to push it, give it more of a positive stigma, cause when people like David Beckham and people like that who are hugely respect to get tattoos. It helps to brush off some of the negative stigmas. And I think what also helps is a lot of respected jobs like sailors, firemen, and military are renowned for having tattoos, and it's also that's allowed to become more accepted for jobs such as doctors and lawyers to get tattoos. Although relating this back to elderly people, I think there is a specific problem or a specific stigma with elderly people due to the physicality of it, because it looks like it's all faded and it's all like like it was a bad decision earlier in their life. And so I think by putting tattoos on people in my work, and elderly people in my work, I am opening up to a lot of negative stigma. But if I'm then portraying that person in a very, very positive light, it will hopefully put the spin that these sorts of things help to give to it onto the thing, and then maybe change the opinion of the person viewing the art with relation to their views on tattoos. Because the way I see it is, when I see an elderly person, is I see someone who's lived like a very fulfilling life and has a lot of memories, as opposed to someone who's like gone down a bad path, which is, I guess, what the stigmas for all these subcultures and other negative issues come from. So yeah, that's what I'm just trying to put a bit of a spin on for my project.